Do you think women have a different perspective on human rights?
I think that there is a very practical perspective. That's why I quoted the woman in the village when I ask. It's freedom from violence and access to water. So it depends. I mean, for poor women, it makes life much more difficult when they have to go many miles for water. They may get raped en route. They don't have time for their own education. And they also probably have to work in the fields because most of the farmers in sub-Saharan Africa are women. And it's women's rights that have not been fully achieved at all. I know there are problems of implementation generally, but we need much more priority for rights of women and the adolescent girl and the girl child.
Thank you. And after 9/11, do you think that priorities in defending human rights have changed?
Yes, sadly, there has been a dipping of standards by countries that had committed to upholding those standards in legal instruments, like the Convention Against Torture and the Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. And unfortunately, the United States has particularly fallen below its legal standards. And that has had a bad knock-on effect in other countries. I've just taken part in a study on behalf of the International Commission of Jurists, and we had hearings in more than 20 countries, and we're just bringing out a report where we're trying to show that these trends are very worrying and serious. There's also, I'm glad to say, a counter-trend, including in the United States. And I mentioned the American Bar Association is leading with the International Bar Association a movement called the World Justice Project to restore full supporting of rule of law and full adherence to international human rights standards.
And you mentioned young people. In your opinion, what can young people offer in terms of defending and promoting human rights?
I think that young people are very responsive to the idea that we have a world of values. Young people are very concerned about the environment and they get very involved in issues. And I think that we haven't understood the importance of making human rights relevant to the lives of young people. They feel they're not being heard, and they're not usually being heard. Even now, when we involve a young person on a panel, they're the last to speak. They should be the first to speak. And we can change the dynamics if we want to.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much.